Alright, we're getting ready to build the GEPRC Mark IV, and this one is going to have a Caddx Starlight camera, and we're going to have the Luminaire 2206 2450 kV Freybott motors. 2206, and this is a 6-inch frame, and for the speed controllers we're going to use the Emax bullets, the 30 amps. I've been holding on to these for a while. I started getting these when I couldn't find the KISS 30 amp ESCs anymore. For some reason KISS stopped making the 30 amp ESCs. Very smooth on the throttle with those ESCs. And these are somewhat comparable but not KISS, but they are decent for what I do. So those will be here on the arms of the quadcopter, and I'm going to use the Joshua Bardwell 4-in-1 flight controller. I do have a SP-F3 flight controller that I haven't used, so I'm thinking about that as well, but we'll see as time goes on. But right now we got the motors on, and I'll go ahead and get the rest of the stuff put on there. Okay, I'm going with the JB F4 flight controller, and had the bridge. These two pads here. Alright, down in here there's a bridge for 5 volts or 3 volts, and I had to bridge that to 5 volts, so there's two little pads. And a bridge. So now I'm going to solder the power cord to the negative and positive leads. This is going to be my power cord for my quadcopter here. It's going to be a 4S setup. Okay, so far we have the flight controller mounted, power connected, got the motors on there. We have the Caddx camera connected down here to the pads on the front, and then this little black wrap thing here, this is the receiver R-XSR. We have that soldered onto the pads according to the connections, and I'm going to go ahead and get the ESCs and the motors set up and connected, and then we'll have the VTX for the video that will connect on the back. But so far it's coming along. Alright, everything's coming along good. We've got the camera connected, got the receiver, installed there. Right in the front of the flight controller, we have our ESCs, the Emax bullet 30 amps. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and get these soldered onto the board and connect the signal wire. These are the actual interface between the flight controller and the ESC, which controls the speed of the motor. And of course the red and the black wires are just power to the motor. This actually converts the DC voltage into alternating current. So the 16 volts fed in here will come out on this side in alternating current form, which will drive the magnets, and the wired coils will energize and spin the magnets around, which are attached to the bell. So far that's my Mark IV by GEPRC. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add this. This is the video transmitter. I'm going to go ahead and attach this along with the URUAV Lollipop antenna. That'll be coming out the back of here. So, we'll check back in with you. Okay, got the ESCs connected to the motors and to the flight controller. Have the signal wires connected to all the inputs. I've checked the polarity of the wiring to make sure that positive is positive and negative is to negative. I'm going to go ahead and throw a coating of clear fingernail polish over here to protect the electronics from water. And then I have to, this is the camera lead for the camera. It's going to sit up here in the front, and I'm going to install this video transmitter here in the back and have that coming out the rear. This is going to curve around and connect to the frame, and I'll have my VTX somewhere around here, either on the bottom or on the top. But so far it's coming along pretty nice. And this is the Mark IV by GEPRC, and we're running the Freybott 2206 2450 kV motors. These motors have been out for maybe 3 years, if not 4 years. They're 2206 in size, meaning it's 6 millimeters tall from the bottom right here to the top. So basically from the bottom line to the top line is 6 millimeters. Just wanted to give these a shot. I'm trying to get all of my older equipment put into some type of build, because I'm finding with drone technology, parts age rather quickly. If you buy a drone now, 2-3 months down the road, it's obsolete already. But that doesn't mean you can't keep flying it. It just means that the technology is just progressing that fast. So this flight controller is Joshua Bardwell, his first flight controller, and it does come with a 4-in-1 ESC. However, I wanted to use these 30 amp bullets that I have here from Emax and get those out of my stock and get them flying. So far so good. And once I get the ESCs mounted to the arm, I'm going to go ahead and put these antennas for my receiver in position, so they'll be fixed and not be flexing around because they're kind of fragile. But so far so good. Mark IV 6-inch. Alright, we have the ESCs mounted to the arms. I'm going to go ahead and run the battery cable through the plate here and secure it inside with the wire tie. So at this point I'm going to get the VTX installed. It's a 400 watt Eachine VTX, the Nano, and going to get the camera installed here in the front. So I have the antenna wires mounted and secured. So now the video camera for my FPV and the video transmitter, and that'll be the end of my build for the GEPRC Mark IV. And once I'm done with all the video, I'll go ahead and connect it up to BL Heli and get the motors spinning in the right direction, and connect it to Beta Flight and program this puppy. But it's come along pretty easy. Okay, winding up the Mark IV build. I have my VTX installed. I'm going to secure that to the top plate with some electrical tape and wrap that around. Flight controller's wired up. I've checked it for any shorts or cross wires. Everything looks good on it. And on these Caddx cameras, I'm noticing on videos that I see on YouTube and me myself when I fly on a new camera, sometimes you have dots on your video, and come to find out is, I guess during manufacturing or something, I don't know, but dust is on the internal lens. So I take it apart, I unscrew the two screws in the back, take that off, I get a can of air and blow the lenses off on the inside and then reconnect it, and then I put a layer of liquid electrical tape around the edges. It has a piece of foam, but I like to double seal it to try to keep any dust out during crashes. But that's one thing that I found with the Caddx cameras is they have dust on the inside of them, or something that's on the lens. So if you have a Caddx camera and you're wondering where the dots are coming from, there's dust inside your camera. So you have to take it apart and blow it out, and that'll take care of it. So I'm going to get ready to mount that on the inside, put the camera plates up, VTX is there, I believe the camera's my last piece, and then I'll get it all set up. I'm not going to do any Beta Flight or BL Heli video, because there's plenty of that on YouTube already. So if you have any questions on BL Heli configuration, just do a search on YouTube. You can check out Joshua Bardwell's videos, he does that as well, and Beta Flight. So that's all been covered. I'm basically going to plug it up to USB, connect it up to Beta Flight, get it configured, and then I'm going to check my motor directions in BL Heli and get those spinning the right way, and that'll be it. It'll be in the air. I'm going to go ahead and wrap some more electrical tape around these wires here, take them to the arms, because when I do crash and I bend the prop, they normally come down and swoop right across there. So I'm just going to put some electrical tape to minimize any damage that'll do. And this will be the end of the build for my Mark IV. Alright, we have the quad here connected to battery and connected to BL Heli. And I just finished flashing all the firmware. And hopefully motors 1 and 4 are the only two that need to be reversed. Set my beacon delay here to 5 minutes, so it'll start beeping on its own if I lose connection or anything with it. Right, set up, and we are done. Go back into beta flight and check the motors, make sure they're spinning in the right direction. And that should be it for the setup. Alright, we are doing a test hover here in the front by a tree, so I hope it doesn't fly to the moon. This is the test hover maiden of my GEPRC Mark IV. And these are the stock settings of Betaflight 4.2. Stock settings of Betaflight 4.2. Alright, gonna test the motors, see if they're hot.
Telemetry lost, telemetry recovered, telemetry lost, telemetry recovered. Telemetry lost, telemetry recovered.
Feel okay? Another test. Testing fail-safe, that worked as well. And I say we're good. That's the finished product of my Mark IV. Gonna go ahead and tape these down, because I'm sure I'll probably snag them quick, and probably put a zip tie and position this where it's more sturdy. Yeah, it all works like a charm. And I got my clear nail polish for waterproofing on top. It's ultraviolet sensitive, so it does show in the sun that it's coated. So yeah, proud of this sucker right here. I've waited 3 months for that frame to come across from China. I ordered it before the coronavirus pandemic thing, and just now received it about a week ago. But it's flying now here in America. Thanks, China. And Banggood for sending it.